We're going to have one sip. Not promoting green juice, green powder, but I buy it from a health food shop. We're going to go see the sunrise. Putting phone down. You just put go down like that. All right, let's go. In Australia, we cannot drive with phone on at all. I mean, like holding the phone. Oh my gosh, the sun is rising. The sun is rising. Okay, we're a 5-minute drive. While you look at the sky is fully up. The new day has started. It's Wednesday. It's Dancing with Dora Wednesday. Yeah, it's Wednesday. It's garbage day. I just had to put the garbage bin out. So guys, I'm in southeast Queensland, a place called Redcliffe. We're like half an hour away from Brisbane without traffic, literally. Tried and trusted. This is Australia. Well, you're listening to Dora, who's in Australia. She's Australian, born in Brisbane Hospital. This is my channel, naturally. If you're listening to this, hi. I think there's a few people there. I'm not sure who that is, but hi. We're waiting. We're just literally driving down to see the sunrise, as usual. Part of our 45-minute movement today. We've got to do 2 of those movements today. But guys, I shouldn't say this like I'm excited at all, right? You know I like walking, okay? This is quite a serious note. I talk about mental health a lot on my channel. Today in Australia is, I think it even might be around the world. Maybe you guys can confirm that if you're overseas somewhere. But the 10th of September in Australia is World Suicide Prevention Day. So when it says world, maybe that is around the world. Can you guys, if you're on the live and you know me, could you do me a favour and like Google if it's World Prevention Day in your country also? I know in the future you're the 9th of September at the moment, but I'm obviously living in the future, right? It is Wednesday, the 10th of September. In Australia, it is World Prevention Day today. Well, it's Prevention Day for Suicide today. And so Lifeline is an organisation in Australia that run a 24-hour hotline that if you are ever in need of someone to talk to, they have qualified people on the phone to talk to you. It's free. It's a free system. It's not a counselling system. It's just I'm in need this minute. Ring them up. They have signs in places that are known hotspots for people that don't want to be here anymore. And they have a sign saying you are loved, or, please call this number. It's a 1-800 number. It's free. Anywhere in Australia you can call. So it's a beautiful system they do. I actually volunteer at one of their op shops. They do amazing stuff. They sell, everything that's been dumped, being trash, they resell and make money. They pay for staff. They are beautiful people. I mean, there's many organisations that do this. I'm not just saying Lifeline because obviously I'm affiliated, anything like that. No, I also volunteer at another organisation that do other things. Salvation Army, they do really amazing things for the community also. But Lifeline in particular, I'm talking about today because I've joined one of their things, which I do. You walk 9 kilometres on this day in memory of someone that is not there today anymore because of their mental health. And that is my friend Esther. So anyway, guys, I'm just going to go see the sunrise. Oh, it has just risen above cloud. Oh, hey Susan, how you going? So yeah, serious note from me today, just because obviously I've lost my friend Esther. I've lost a few friends to mental health. I'm not alone. I know that a lot of us have lost friends to mental health. It's a serious topic and a topic that is dear to my heart, and that's why I participate in these things. So this afternoon I'm walking 9 kilometres with my friend's husband, who's the widow now of my friend Esther. So this is what I do for my mental health, guys. I go for a walk down the beach And then I do a jumping for joy because it brings me joy and it makes other people laugh. There are people on the beach that'll be watching me do this jumping for joy, and that's okay. I think that, we should let other people laugh at us too. It's okay. So let me just quickly take a video, guys, of my jumping, and then I'll say hello to you guys. I know Susan's there. Hello, Susan. I thought I'd have a sit down with you guys just for a little bit and say hello. I changed the tripod over. This is my other tripod. Okay, so who is there? Hey Mike. Oh, I thought it was Mike, but I wasn't quite sure, Mike. I wasn't sure. You're at work on a break? Hey Mike. And Brian, miss someone. Hey Susan, how you going? I said I wasn't going live today. I don't know, I can't remember. Hey, so guys, just on a serious note, yeah, I am doing movement today. I've got to do 2, so obviously with 45 hard. I was trying to sit down and do the live for a little bit, just because it's a serious note. Obviously, this day is a day that we shouldn't have to celebrate at all. It's not even a celebration, right? World Prevention, suicide, Suicide Prevention Day, shouldn't be a day. Definitely. And I'm not celebrating it like, yoo-hoo, it brings me tears because, there's many people have lost people, dear to their heart. I've got, our friend Deb has just lost a guy friend to this. And, I talk about walking with purpose because, walking with purpose is like, it's movement. It's good for our mental health, right? I know I might not suffer mental health myself. Well, that's beautiful. Let me do it this way. I might not suffer mental health myself, but my friend's passing through mental health has really, has affected me. Has affected me enough that I do all these walks, and I participated in these challenges for mental health, like that 30k walk for Beyond Blue, and I talk about her journey because she deserves to be here. And, if there was more awareness and okayness with mental health, she would have got treatment in Malaysia. She suffered a lot of trauma in a marriage, and she bared 3 children to that marriage. And she eventually divorced that man. And in the Muslim faith, that is really hard to do. She wasn't Muslim herself, so it was a mixed race of, religion. It was hard for her. She was a Christian. And her family didn't support her in Malaysia. They don't believe mental health is a condition. They just say, just get over it. You're now divorced, get over it, right? And it's hard to get over something that's, traumatizing to you. She got on with her life. She married an Australian guy, came to Australia with her youngest daughter, left her 2 children with the ex-husband in Malaysia, and he tormented her still. Just basically holding the children over her. But anyway, she got on with her life in Australia. She married a nice guy. But that trauma that took her here. She did try to get treatment here too, but the damage was done, unfortunately. And I knew about the trauma, bits and pieces of it. I would get phone calls to come and get her. She'd be drunk and she'd had a fight with her, husband, and he couldn't, he also, no, people aren't, we don't know how to deal with people in crisis, and my friend's husband, he didn't know what to do. He also drank a lot, to deal with the effect of all this. No one's to blame at all, but the system is to blame, right? We should have systems in place to help people that are in crisis. But if you're in crisis, who do you call? Even to see a psychiatrist is very, very expensive, and there's a big waiting list, right, to see a professional. So it's a dilemma. One of my girlfriends who lost her brother to mental health, her son started going through, he was 17, started going through some stress, and she really needed to get him help ASAP. She couldn't get into anyone. She was beside herself. She didn't know what to do. So all she could do was just try to be there for him and hug him, just like those kind of things. But, we don't know what to do. No one knows what to do, right? He's okay. I saw him the other day, actually. He's on with his life. He's, 20, 24, 25 now, working, seems happy. But, yeah, that was lucky that, some people aren't so lucky. That's the thing, I guess. And I guess that brings me to today. So part of Lifeline's challenge, like health challenges, is that in Australia, how do I get this right? There's 63 people. In the average in Australia, the stats, 63 people take their lives a week in Australia. So that's divided by 7 days is 9 people a day. Now, I think that stat, unfortunately, has gone up. This stat was probably about 3 or 4 years old, but they keep on going with the same kind of outline. So today, on World Prevention Day, they would like us to walk 9 kilometres in memory of, someone that we've lost. So I do these challenges. There's many different people that, organisations that do these things. There's another one that I'm going to be doing in October that I'll take you guys on, with me with. But I always ask Esther's husband if he'd like to join me for one of these walks, and he always says, look, I will one day, I'm just not ready. So I messaged him a couple of days ago and said, hey, the 10th of September, Wednesday afternoon after work, I'm going to do a 9K walk. You're welcome to join me for it. Join me for some of it if you like. And he said yes. So obviously not going to do a live, guys. This is just something personal for me and him to remember our friend. And, he's very broken. It's very sad. And again, I don't have these skills, right? But I can listen. And I can walk for my friend. And I can talk about her story. Because, these kind of stories deserve to be talked about. And she deserves to be talked about. So, yeah, I'm a bit emotional today, guys. And I need to do my 45 minutes walk. I'm supposed to be drinking my green juice. But, yeah, and look, it's okay, guys. I'm okay. Trust me, I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm just, it's okay to be not okay with, losing a friend. And it's okay to talk about it. These people, their stories, their love, their life shouldn't be forgotten. And, I know people will say, my friends say, you shouldn't probably do that on, publicly. But I seem to have this, persona that I'm on a live and I'm going to talk about it, because if I can move one of you guys to, do one of these challenges, to reach out to a friend, to share their experiences, like, in this chat, it's an open place. I know I don't look attractive here, right, guys, but I don't care, right? My channel is never about, me being, Miss Perfect, because I'm definitely not Miss Perfect. But, this is a safe space that, some of our friends, in particular, my friend Craig has come in a few times to say that he's not okay. And a lot of us have supported him. A lot of us message him on different, different videos to see how he is. But he says, the last time I spoke to him, he was pretty good. So that's good. But yeah, as I said, even though you guys might be kind of strangers to me, in ways like, I don't know you personally, as in not face to face, but, like, for example, Susan and I have chatted on the phone. Mike and I have, we're Instagram friends, and, we'll message each other on there because it's much easier to message there than on YouTube, right? But, I'm there for people that need a friend. And I know that personally I've needed friends in my life for different things. And there's been friends there for me, and I'm very lucky for that. I also talk openly about my father being, a really good role model for me, and a lot of people don't have that. So I'm lucky I had that. I've got my mum. My mum sometimes listens to this. See, she was listening to my live yesterday. So hi, Mum. How you going? Yeah, I'm okay, Mum. Trust me, I'm okay. I'm just sharing my experience about my friend Esther, and how it affected me emotionally, and it still affects me. It's been 3 or 4 years now. And that her story will never be forgotten. So, yeah, so Mum, I'm okay. Just talking with my friends here. And don't be sorry, Mike. There's nothing to be sorry about. It's happened. And I guess now that when they say Prevention Day, is that we're now living now. We can't we can't fix what's happened in the past. We can only learn and move on, and that hope that those numbers get less, right? I'd hate to think what the numbers are in other countries. Hey, Heartthrob, how you going? Welcome to my live. Just having a little cry to myself while I watch the sunrise. And we've done a jumping for joy already. So today is Wednesday, the 10th of September, guys. It is 6:23. And, yeah, we should be walking, right? So let's get up. Oh. Shake the sand off us, right? And sadly, it's hard to shake mental health or some issues that happen to us off. It's not as simple as just shaking it off, right? Literally shaking the sand off my bum, literally. I was sitting on thongs. I was sitting on those things. We call them thongs, right, guys? Bit of Australian trivia today. These are thongs. 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 Do you reckon I could walk in shoes? Thongs today? You know what? Let's do that. So guys, I'm just going to put you back down. I'm going to put let's just drink a bit more of this. So day 16 of 75 hard today, guys. Let's turn that around. Hey Kelly, how you going? Sorry I missed you yesterday, Kelly. I know, Susan, sorry I abruptly finished. But you guys know what happened. Obviously I put my phone down to do some jumping jacks and it cut out. And Mike, I did hear that message. Oh, she won't know. She'll be talking to herself for 5 minutes and then she'll realise. And then Susan goes, yeah, I think you're right, Mike. I heard yous. I saw yous. And I love that. That's funny. So yeah, I was sitting in my car going, I kept on doing my jumping jacks. I thought, stuff it, I have to do it. And there's no use in me going back to do another live because I was literally going home, right? But I did see you drop in, Susan. Sorry, Kelly. So I apologise, but I didn't dump and leave. I was disconnected rudely. Yes, Heartthrob. They can be called thongs or flip-flops, double pluggers, jandals. I wouldn't call them sandals, but you could call them sandals if you want to. So just finishing off my juice, we're just talking about World Prevention Day, it's World Suicide Prevention Day. It's the 10th of September that we mark this day in Australia. And, you know, we remember the people that are not here today because of that. And that is my friend Esther for me. I have lost other friends to suicide. Unfortunately, it was one of my school friends actually when I was about 17. And that was like 30 odd years ago, right? So unfortunately, it's been happening for many years, you know, that we lose people. It just seems to be that in the last decade, probably since the pandemic, that when more people became more socially isolated, people relied more on social media, bullying unfortunately has got worse, that there seems the stats of people not being here anymore through mental health and different reasons, you know, has caused some of these stats around the world to just blow out. I'd hate to know the real stats, but in Australia, the stats are from about a couple of years ago. 63 people are not here anymore this week. That's 9 a day. If you divide 7 by 63, 9 a day, people decide that they don't want to be here anymore. One of those stats in the last 4 years was my friend Esther. She was one of those people a day. I remember it clearly. It was a Monday, and I got a message from my friend, her husband, Mark, saying what happened. And I didn't believe it. She was in hospital. I don't want to tell details because, you know, that might trigger someone. But she was in hospital. She was literally brain dead. But there was always hope, right? And I thought there was hope. I did not think that was the end. I thought I'd see my beautiful friend again. But I had to go and say goodbye to her. And that was probably one of the worst things I've ever had to do. I was trying not to cry. I was trying to turn this around. But that's okay, because you know what? You know, I had to do that. I had to say goodbye to my friend. And then the next day they turned the machines off, so she couldn't breathe anymore herself. And then that was in about November. I can't remember the dates. And then it took about 4 months for my friend to decide it was okay to have a memorial for her, because he could not bring himself to actually prepare for her to be gone. So, you know, I wanted to grieve my friend. I wanted to, you know, say goodbye to her in my own way. So I pretty much I organised her memorial, and it was one of the most beautiful things I could do for her. If she's not here, is organise a party for her in her name. And it was such a beautiful day. I organised my mum, and my mum will be listening to this. I organised my mum to do a whole lot of Indonesian cooking, because my friend was from Malaysia, so Malaysian cooking is very similar to Indonesian cooking. So, Mum, I know you listen to this on the replay, so thanks, Mum. Thanks, Mum, for making an amazing rendang curry, nasi goreng, fried rice, all these foods, right? And my friend Esther's sister came up from Sydney. Her daughter was there. It was live, so her family in Malaysia could see it. We hired this amazing space on a farm, on a hill. We had drone footage. It was just beautiful. I haven't even been able to watch the video actually, because I just can't bring myself to watch it. But you know, I got up and I had I said a prayer for her. And it was just a beautiful day to celebrate my friend that's not here anymore. Just like this day is to celebrate the person that's not here anymore. But yeah, like I said, I don't know what I was saying, to be honest. I'm just trying to drink this up and then we'll go for a walk. So yeah, today, Wednesday, the 10th of September, is World Prevention Day. World Suicide Prevention Day, basically. So as I said, we can't take back what's happened. We can only move forward. We only have today, right? Because tomorrow is not guaranteed for any of us, right? And those stats in Australia are completely different to stats in other countries. But 63 people a week are not here because of this condition or this reason, and that's 9 a day. So that's why today I'm going to walk 9 kilometres this afternoon. And unfortunately, with the how 75 hard works, is you have to do 2 45-minute sessions, and there has to be 3 hours in between those sessions. So for example, if I walked for 4 hours, no, if I walked for 5 hours, then I could do the 45 minutes, have 3 hours in between that I'm not counting, and then the end of the 5 hours would be my last 45 minutes. So that would be my 2 45-minute sessions a day. But that doesn't work like that, right? So I'm going to be walking 45 minutes now this morning, and this afternoon I will do 9 kilometres with my friend Esther's husband. This is the first time we'll actually walk for her, and there'll be tears, trust me. And I'll try to pull myself together for him, but you know, because I've been there for him also over the years. Because, you know, there's been moments I've been actually worried about his life. He's gone through some really dark days since her passing, and I think he's outside the other side of it. And this is a really good move, a big move, and he might even pull out today, I don't know. But every time I do these walks for my friend Esther, I ask him to come with me, and he says no, but he says, keep on asking me. You know, one year I'll say yes, and this is the year he said yes. So am I excited? Yeah, I'm excited to walk with him. I'm excited to see him. He's a friend of mine, but I'm not excited to talk about the subject, right? I'm not excited to talk about my memory of my friend Esther, because I know it'll be painful, and watching him in pain is also so painful. He won't watch this live, right? He doesn't do this, but I watch my lives, back sometimes just to remember where I am. And I will put a note here to remember this moment because, I need to share her story. And it's not a personal story just for me. It's a personal story for any one of you guys that want to take anything out of it, because I'm sure you've been touched by, losing someone in this way. And unfortunately, we will not be sheltered from it. It's going to continue happening, unfortunately. Our friend Deb, that is sometimes in the chat, she's just lost a guy friend recently. And she's really upset because she couldn't actually go to the funeral. The funeral's in Colorado, where she's from originally. She's just come back from Colorado from a holiday, and that took a lot out of her. And I have to share, unfortunately, that Deb is actually in hospital, and she's not in a good way, guys. So today, is a mark of remembering my friend, and I will do a 9K walk this afternoon. But today is also to remember that, the people in our life that we love and we adore, let them know. And, Deb I hope, will now be able to look at her phone, and maybe she'll be listening to this in the replay, because she does that sometimes, guys. So if you please would like to send some well wishes to my friend Deb. A lot of you guys know Deb Warwick, that's in our chat. I got a message from her daughter. She wrote on one of my yesterday's live, actually, saying, hey, I'm Deb's daughter. Deb wanted me to let you know that she had trouble breathing and that she's gone to hospital. And it doesn't sound like she's in a good way. Her daughter said, can you please pray for her? Can you please tell her friends that, that she knows in the chat to please pray for her? So the fact that I haven't heard from Deb tells me that she hasn't got her phone with her, that she's probably not in the sorts to actually use her phone. So this is quite serious. And yeah, even though I'm talking about suicide prevention and missing someone that has lost their life through this, it's also about, the people in our lives that are still here, right? So yeah, as I said, I would appreciate if you guys would say some nice words about our friend Deb. I'll read them out and say who they're from. That way, when Deb watches the replay, because trust me, Deb watches replays, guys. she can hear these lovely words, because, yeah, Deb might be a stranger to all of us. She just might be, a name in the chat. I don't know what Deb looks like. Deb doesn't have a profile that, you can see what she looks like. She's not a content creator, right? I have no way of contacting her other than YouTube like this. I've asked her daughter to send me an email. I haven't actually looked at my emails to see if she has sent me an email, because I would like to know personally how she is. Because, as I said, she's become a friend. Like, I met her just doing these lives, right? And a lot of you guys, she's now supported you. I'd see her comments on Paul's channel. So she's made a connection with Paul. And I'm sure she's even connected with you, Mike. Again, strangers, but still friends, right? You can be friends with someone and never know what they look like and never know them personally. But, you can make friends with them online. This is a new age, right, guys? I'm sorry, I'm not really looking at the chat, guys. I'm on a ramble. I'm still trying to finish my drink. So finally finished my drink. I'm just going to put you down. I'm going to put this bottle back in my car and we'll go for a walk. All right, guys, 45 minutes of movement we should do each day to look after ourselves, after our mental health also, right, guys? So part of my 75 hard is I need to do 2 45-minute sessions a day with 3 hours between that you can't count. And one has to be outdoors. So guys, we're ticking off 45 minutes now. It is 6:39. So what's that, 20? So 20 past 7, 25 past 7 is the time that I've done my 45 minutes. And 45 minutes for my mental health too, to get out into fresh air and breathe it in, listen to the ocean. I mean, I know I'm very grateful, definitely don't take it for granted that I get to listen to the ocean, walk on the sand. Today I'm doing something completely different. I'm walking in my flip-flops or thongs, guys. I would much rather take my shoes off, my thongs off, and walk barefoot. But unfortunately, some of my walks, I pick up syringes on the beach. So, yeah, I just sometimes do walk barefoot. I think it's really good for you to walk barefoot. But, sometimes, yeah. And today I'm just, I don't want the stress. I am just going to walk bare with my thongs. And when I don't want to, I'll take them off, right? So guys, thank you for joining me today. I know it's been a bit of a weird one, but you know what? It's okay. This is my channel. And if you don't want to hear about these kind of topics, it's fine. I get it. Come back another day and we'll talk about a different topic, right? Actually, I'm going to change the subject, guys. I went whale watching yesterday. It was so friggin' amazing. I love whale watching. You guys know I love animals, right? And yes, humpback whale season is right now happening out there. Not out here really. Sadly, there used to be a lot of whales in this area. There used to be a whaling station over at Tangalooma at the island there on Moreton Island. And they got down, this is back in the 70s, and they got down to 500 whales left in the ocean down in here. So they really depleted the humpback whales here in the whaling days. So they eventually made it, they cancelled it, they closed the place up. And since then, the whales have, the whale population has got bigger, but it's still not as plentiful as it used to be. Like, you don't find any whales in here anymore. You find whales at the corner, like up at the point here. There is a whale watching boat that goes from Redcliffe, where I'm here in southeast Queensland. But unfortunately, it's $150. It's quite expensive. So $150, about 75 US dollars, guys. It goes out for about 2 or 3 hours, and it does include lunch. It's a very big boat. I would like to go on it, and I probably will go on it. But with my work, one of the clients actually wanted to go whale watching. He's never gone before. One of my other clients has been whale watching quite a few times. But anyway, I organised it as long as there was a bit of a challenge that I put on the two guys, and they won. So I said, okay, well, let's go whale watching. And I found a whale watching tour down at the Gold Coast that is only, well, it was $119. But if you are part of RACQ, which is like the car breakdown service here that comes and fixes your car, you can get a discount. So we got a discount for like $80. So that's a pretty good deal. And it doesn't include lunch, but it is also down the Gold Coast. So that's like a 2-hour drive from here, literally. But I love driving. And it's an adventure, right? I have done this whale watching boat before, and it was amazing. Humpback whales are so amazing. They're so big. And yes, I will make a video. Don't ask me when it'll be out. You never know. Tonight, I might actually get it out. No, to be honest, no, I won't. I got to walk 9 kilometres this afternoon. I forgot about that. So anyway, guys, I think it's important to talk about subjects that are not a nice subject, icky sometimes, right? And we get emotional. And yes, I cry. And it's okay to cry. It's good to cry. And I'm okay, guys. I just needed to get something out because personally, when I see my friend this afternoon, there'll be lots of tears when I walk with him. But, it's not just about him. It's also about me also too. But at the same time, I really want to be there for my friend because this is the first time that he's openly done a walk with me on one of these kind of walks. So I'm hoping it's the start of something that he might do more often because I think it'd be really good for him mentally to do these things. So, who we got here today? Hey, Miss Gina, how you going? Yeah, have anyone in the chat been whale watching? Oh, Susan, it was amazing. The whale was like flapping his wings at us. It was really, really cool. Oh, I'm glad you guys liked listening to the sound of the ocean while I go take my bottle of, back to the car and my bottle exchange. So I've officially done half a litre of my 3.7 litres I need to do a day. Hey Susan, how are you going with your water? I know you've been wanting to increase your water and that. So guys, High Country Homestead is my friend Susan from Victoria. She drank 2 litres the other day, and yesterday she was feeling very, very headachy. And it's kind of like a detox, right? because water flushes a lot of stuff out of your body. Again, guys, I'm no anyone. I'm just talking about my experiences, and you guys are sharing your experiences. If you are going to take on some kind of challenge, please seek advice, right? Because everyone has different conditions, different capabilities. Just because I can do 75 hard doesn't mean that necessarily that you can do 75 hard. My friend Kathleen, hey Kathleen, from Canada, she's from Saskatchewan, and she knows I love just saying that now, even if I know how to say the state that she's from, but I probably won't because I like to say that. And I'm sure it makes Kathleen smile. Because it makes me smile, guys. So Kathleen, when I was discussing doing 75 hard, said, I don't know if I could drink a gallon of water. Like with 75 hard, you have to drink a gallon of water per day for 75 days. And if you miss one day, you got to go back to day one. We'll just not keep on going. So a gallon of water is a lot of water, guys, especially when you don't drink that much water already. Personally, I do drink a lot of water. I openly, in the middle of my lives, have to go to the toilet because, not on the beach, but like go to actual bathroom because I drink a lot of water. I take water with me. I'm continually drinking water. So drinking some extra water wasn't a big deal for me, but I'm going to say it was to start with. So 3.7 litres is 1 gallon of water in the change of metrics. So that is effectively, that's 500 mils. So that's like, I do about 8 of these a day, which means I'm drinking about 4 litres a day. And when I first started, it was really hard on my stomach. It was like my stomach was full, like I was bloated. And it was a bit uncomfortable. But I Googled it, like, a good Googler I am, and many people that were doing 75 hard on the days 3 and 4 felt the discomfort of like the water stomach, bloated, and they said, yeah, it's good and it will go away. It's just basically your stomach holding on to water because our bodies need water, right, guys? I don't know if you've done some maths, did the little Googles, but you'll find that a lot of older people tend not to drink water, especially because it makes them go to the toilet in the middle of the night, right? So they don't want to drink water, so they limit water. So then effectively they're dehydrated. And that, causes other issues. Dehydration can cause memory loss. It can cause, they call it dysteria, where basically you just kind of lose, you don't really know where you are. Dysentery, you just don't know. Yeah, you're kind of a bit silly for a bit because your brain needs water to function. So again, Google these things, right, guys? And look, I get it. Like, I've woken up twice at like 2:30 in the morning to go wee. I haven't weed the bed, guys, which is good. And I don't have to wear nappies, okay? So I have had to, but only because I left it too late in the day to drink my water. So if I didn't, if I got to 9 o'clock at night, which I have, and I'm drinking a litre of water, that's a lot. That's got to go somewhere, right? And that will wake you up in the middle of the night. So you just drink it regularly. Like my friend Susan, she's actually set a timer to drink 250 mils, every certain couple of hours. Okay, we've got Lavender's Rock. We do a little kick. But after that system, my system basically went, okay, I get that you're drinking all this water. It started letting go of it, meaning, I don't know, somehow it must have weed out of me, guys, obviously. Oh, look, oh, poor little, that's like, what do you call it? Stingray, I think, yeah. So now my system is processing the water. I'm actually going to the toilet less than the first couple of days. My first couple of days, I was going to the toilet like twice nearly every half an hour, pretty much. Now my body seems to be working with it. So, guys, I don't talk about it a lot, guys, because it's not something I need to focus on. But my left knee, I've talked about how when I do hiking, it does give me a bit of curry. So, and it's always given me curry, guys. Anyway, I have been going to the doctors about it and no one kind of came back with anything. They just said, keep on doing what you're doing because obviously, it's not stopping you doing all these hikings and stuff like that. But I eventually got not MRI, CAT scan, I think, yeah. And I have severe osteoporosis in my left knee. So what that means is that in my younger years, basically I had an injury from the sport I used to play. I used to play a lot of tennis, and I used to fall down a lot, like a lot of people. I was a tall, lanky thing. And yeah, I've got permanent scars on my left knee, funnily enough, from falling over and falling over again on my left knee because, the scab hadn't, got better, and then I fall over it again. So I've got permanent scars on that knee. So that's why the left knee is the one that has copped the beating. And obviously there was an injury there that probably didn't get healed enough, and maybe I kept on playing tennis with it. I don't recall an injury ever that bad, but obviously it hasn't repaired, and yeah, so I have severe, but anyway, that put me in a bit of a tizzy a couple of months ago. I didn't share about it because I should have shared about it, but I was quite a bit upset about it, to be honest, because it meant, I didn't know what that meant. I thought, fuck, I'm only 49. That's too young to have a knee replacement. Knee replacements for people, 60-ish, right? Or that have done really die-hard exercise. Like, football players and a lot of these guys that, use their legs and bodies like crazy, they end up with these kind of injuries that they have to get a replacement. And I'm like, I'm not, I wasn't a tennis professional, and I was 49. So I'm like, what the hell? And plus, does this mean I can't hike anymore? Does that mean I can't jump on the beach? And I went to a physiotherapist, and he said to me, well, you know what? Maybe it's a good idea to get a knee replacement, because that way, after you do the recovery, it takes you about 6 months to recover, then you'll be able to go hiking and you'll have no issues for maybe about 10, 20 years, and then you might need to get another one done. And I just thought, you know what? That's a bit doom and gloom, right? I'm going to be honest, I was really upset. Because, a life without hiking and jumping, what does that make Dora, right? And also means, what does it make Dora about travelling? Like, when you travel, you're walking around, seeing stuff. Like, what does that mean for Dora? So they were pretty, I shared with a couple of my friends, and my friends were a bit worried about me, going, hey, this is not like you to be like this. Anyway, I went to another physiotherapist, an actual knee specialist physiotherapist. I went to one on the Sunshine Coast. They're attached to the actual, there's a football team on the Sunshine Coast who obviously need to get knees done a lot. So I went to them, and guess what? The guy goes to me, so what can I do for you today? He goes, you look like you're walking quite fine. I said, I got this diagnosis. He read it, and he goes, right, so what does that mean to you? I said, well, it means that, I don't know. I said, so I'm coming to you guys, right? And he goes, well, what's your concern? And I said, well, I do hiking and I do a lot of walking. And I told him a little bit about myself. He goes, okay, so you walk okay? I said, yeah. He goes, walk around for me. So I walked around. He goes, you walk pretty good. He goes, are you just focusing on the diagnosis? I said, yes. He goes, forget about the diagnosis. He goes, just forget about it. He goes, just go live your life. He goes, yes, you probably need to do some strengthening, and you need to do some things to, like, ice. They call it RICE. Rest, ice, compression, elevation. Stands for RICE, RICE. I'll say that again. Rest, ice, compression, elevation. He goes, you just need to do RICE. I went, oh, I love rice. He goes, no. Rice, ice. So I never used to ice my knee. So I started icing my knee once a day, even twice a day. And yeah, it feels good. And guess what, guys? With all this water I've been drinking, guess what? My knee has been feeling really good. So if I can tell you anything about experiences, maybe drinking a little bit more water in your day could actually help you. Not saying you need to drink a gallon of water, not at all. I'm just saying that maybe a little bit more water than you normally take could be good for you. Because, as I said, it's helping my knee. which, you know, obviously has a diagnosis. But again, we don't focus on diagnoses. Yeah. So, yeah. So 75 hard has been going really well for me, guys. I'm day 16 here, doing our 45-minute walk. And I actually think these guys over here, let me just zoom in on this girl's shirt. Let me just zoom. Yep. Okay. There's a couple over there. They've got a blue shirt with a yellow logo on it. I believe that is the Lifeline logo for today, for the world, this 9K walk I'm doing. I haven't got the shirt. I was always going to do this walk, but I don't need a shirt to, you know, recognise that I'm doing a walk for missing a friend. Oh, Susan was asking me what the drink I was drinking. So guys, I'm not sponsored or anything like that, guys. No product placement in my videos just yet, guys, just saying. But yeah, I drink a green powder, Susan. I'll send you a photo of it. You can get it from a local health food shop. I do buy a big bottle of it because it's cheaper to buy a big bulk one. It basically has a lot of the nutrients that unfortunately that we miss in our daily diet. Like, so it has a lot of different stuff in it. Moringa, all those things. So, what am I saying? Yeah, I can't tell you exactly what all the things are, but it does say on the back of the product. So I talk a lot about, guys, that, you know, even by planting your own vegetables, because I do like to know that I'm drinking and eating, you know, chemically free kind of products. But the ground that we're growing the food in can also be depleted, right? So, like, let's face it, with, like, you know, you're buying Asian greens, right? And that ground that they're growing it in has been used and overused for many years to grow Asian greens, right? And in the gardening world, they suggest that you change every season. You should change the plants. Like, if you're doing Asian greens, maybe next season do tomatoes. Like, change it, because the ground gets different nutrients from the roots. But, you know, if there's someone's a supply of just Asian greens, well, then maybe on the off season they do something else. But sometimes it's just always Asian greens, right? So again, the ground is going to be depleted. And they also use chemicals to treat against, you know, bugs and sprays, bugs and stuff. Like, at the moment, my Asian greens are getting hammered, and I'm supposed to be putting garlic and ginger concoction over them with some, I use dishwashing stuff that is non-toxic. So I put that on it so it sticks onto the chili and garlic sticks onto the leaves, and it deters these aphids that have been attacking them. But I just keep on forgetting to spray them. So anyway, so again, all those chemicals and, you know, the sprays, pesticides, deplete the ground, right? I mean, Susan knows all this stuff, guys. Susan, you know, obviously this is High Country Homestead, my friend from Victoria. She's living on the land, so she lives and breathes what I'm talking about right now, guys. And if my mum's listening, say hi to my mum. My mum also lives on a hobby farm. She has 2.5 acres up at the Mullaney, and she does also not use pesticides and all those things because she doesn't want to eat them. My mum is 75 years old. She's living on that land by herself. And like Susan's living on that land. She does have a daughter there, but she solely looks after the property herself. She does all the animals. Well, I mean, her daughter probably does help a little bit, but her daughter's got other things to do, right? She's a school kid. But it's Susan living on that land. And if my mum has, like, anything to say about it, like, she's 75 and she's living on that land still. She's been living on that land, working that land, probably for about 30 years now, herself. And, you know, that's obviously done well for her. So maybe there's there's a method to that madness that, you know, chemically kind of free kind of living. But yes, that's why I take the green powder, because I don't buy all my vegetables. I mean, I don't get all my vegetables and fruit from my garden. And I'd be silly to think that my soil is this amazing soil that, I keep on putting nutrients back into, because it's not. So, some lettuce that I've been picking, I pick mixed lettuce and have on my lunches every week. They are, they're chemically free because I grow them. I know that there's no chemicals on them. And that's why I don't use sprays. I put a cage over the top of them so that birds and possums don't eat them. I don't want to kill a possum or a bird by putting chemicals on them. So it's not just about it's a whole ecosystem, right? So anyway, that's why I take green powder. Long story short, yeah. I also take multivitamins. And yes, people will say that's just very, very expensive. You're probably true, but you know what? You do you, I do me. And I think we've had this chat. I think my friend Wayne was saying one day, yep, he takes vitamins and he feels good for it too. So it might even be the placebo effect, but it doesn't matter. At least I'm doing something proactive about my health. And I choose to buy them from an online wellness company to get them a little bit cheaper than buying them from Coles and Woolies. And plus, I don't like to really support Coles and Woolies. To be honest, I try to limit what I buy from Coles and Woolies. But I'm no saint. I have to go there sometimes. Okay, so Susan's got, hello, Mum of Muriara. Kathleen's got, hi, Mum of Muriara. Rotational gardening, that's right, that's what it's called, rotational gardening. Yeah, so I remember when I was planting, when I used to have my veggie patches, at the moment our veggie patches in the backyard are like open slather for our chickens to run through, because we're renovating the house. But when we had it all fenced off, and the chickens couldn't get in there, I would practice rotational growing, where I would also change the actual growing bays in different directions, so that all areas got, different kind of growing patterns. Okay, so Susan's got here about the water intake. I didn't need the bathroom as much as yesterday, so maybe my body is adjusting. Yay, Susan! That's amazing. That's so good. Deb, oh, hold on. This is Deb's daughter. She needs surgery to repair a valve. She's asked me to watch out for her and say hi. She wanted her to hear about the whales. Oh my gosh, thanks for jumping in, Deb's daughter. So hopefully Deb's daughter, she heard me talking, that I wanted everyone to say, some words for Deb. And I'll read them out, because I know even though her daughter might read them out to Deb, but it'd be nice for Deb to actually hear this when she does watch the replay, because I know Deb does watch the replays, guys. So Deb, this is for you, Deb. Kathleen's Place says, hi Deb's daughter. I'm glad they found what she's needed. Hope Deb is going well. Hi Country Homestead, which is our friend Susan, says, hello there, Deb's daughter. I'm Susan. Give my love to Deb. Tell her I'm praying for her and return for good health. At Deborah Warwick. So let me just go back a little bit, just to make sure there's no more messages for Deb, because that's really important. So Susan's got here, I'll pray for Deb. Yes, I'll pray for Deb, Kathleen says. Okay, so I think I'm up to date. Oh my gosh, I'm warm. So guys, I need to strip off. Just give us a second. Amazing, 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 amazing. So Susan, I wasn't aware that she was in the chat. So thanks Deb's sister, Deb's daughter for, jumping in the chat. That's great. So, not great, obviously, because we'd rather Deb, I'm sorry, but yeah, obviously. But it sounds like they found out what was going on. So there must be something going on with Deb's heart, or something to do with her breathing or something again, because she's always been talking about finding it hard to breathe, and she's had an oxygen machine. So, hey, she's in the best place for getting better in the hospital. So obviously we definitely, send our hopes and our prayers and all the feels, right, to our friend Deb. So Deb, we're watching this in the future, or when you're lying there recovering from your surgery, Deb, we're thinking of you. It's so lovely that your daughter is there with you. So that's amazing too. I know that would really be helping you. And that your friends here, like me, there's Kathleen, there's Susan, I know Paul, I know you and Paul are really good friends, I know Mike also. They will be sending their love, and I'll let them know when I see them. I haven't seen Paul for a couple of days, so but yeah, I'll send him a message to let him know, okay? And everyone's sending their love and support for you, Deb. So by the time you read this or listen to this, Deb, I reckon you are, hopefully at home and resting, okay, and recovering from surgery. So Susan's got here, it's so good that they have discovered the cause and then they're able to fix it. Now hopefully Deb's health will really improve in leaps and bounds. So that was from Susan, Deb. So by the time you've read this or listened to this, sorry if you can't read this. Well, you can, Deb. I don't know if you know this, Deb. When you watch the replay, if you watch it after 24 hours, and guys, I don't know if you know this. So for example, say I did a live on Monday, right? A lot of you guys were there, and you might have made friends with some channel that, thought, oh, I should have kind of got their channel name. Guys, you can go back to my live. You go to watch the replay, right? And then there's a comment where you can write a comment after the fact, but you can watch, there's a next one next to it, and it's actually a live transcript. It actually tells you when you move the button to where I am in the live, who was commenting. So for example, after 24 hours, if you come back to this chat and you want to see what Deb's daughter wrote, you can actually go back to the chat and you can actually buffer through the video, and it buffs with all the comments. So then you can actually see the handle name. Like for example, if you were thinking, oh my God, that Kelly lady, I don't know, what was her, what's her handle name? You can go back and you can buff through the comments in the live and see that, Kelly's handle is Teacher Kelly Tag. So then you can go and look her up and, say, hey, I met in the live on Dora's live, loved your vibe, watching your videos, love to be, I've subscribed. What a nice way to make friends, right? So that's what you can do. So guys, don't ask me why it takes 24 hours, but that's the general rule. So after 24 hours of a live, you can go back and you can look and see who was talking into the chat. So yeah, a bit of mindless information about lives. If you want to know about it, you can actually go in and see who was in the live by who was chatting. it doesn't tell you who was watching, like those kind of things. Like there's a lot of people that, you know, lurk in the background, and if they don't make a comment, you won't actually know they're there, right? That's the joys of lives. Hi, Cahill. I'm from Australia. This is southeast Queensland in Australia, a place called Redcliffe. This is Redcliffe Beach. This is Moreton Bay. And Deb wanted to know about the whales. So Deb obviously listened on one of my replays yesterday that I was going whale watching. So yes, yesterday I got paid to go whale watching, part of my job. Not a bad job, guys, I've got to say. Very grateful. So we went whale watching on the SeaWorld whale watching boat. So SeaWorld is like you've got SeaWorld in Florida, right? I don't particularly love what they do. They believe it's education, but I don't think that dolphins performing in an aquarium and, like, you know, letting you swim on them or shake their hands is really educational. But everyone to their own, right? And in Florida, I think they've even got rid of them now, but they used to have a lot of killer whales. And I think just recently, a killer whale actually killed one of their trainers. And you know what? I feel very, very sorry for that trainer. But those kind of organisations that have wild animals caged and make them do circus tricks for us humans to watch, I think is really disgusting. And I'd hope that you rethink the idea of swimming with a dolphin or something like that, because in Mexico, where I used to live, a place called Puerto Venturas, they had in the marina, they used to have these swimming pools, big swimming pools, around a marina. So basically there's a restaurant, bars, and you could visibly see the dolphins just swimming around this little lagoon. At first I thought it was really cute, but then I realised when I walked through in the afternoons when there was no one around, these dolphins looked like they were dead. There was one that looked like it was dead, and I was like, oh my God, like, what do I do? Like, am I going to jump in the water and try to give it life, mouth to mouth? What am I supposed to do, right? And then suddenly it just moved. And what I realised was it was just sad. It was sad. It was in a tank by itself, and it was just lonely. Like, its basically job is to perform like a circus animal. So through the day, Puerto Venturas brings in lots and lots of tourists, mainly American and Canadians. A lot of Europeans now too, but mainly it's for the Americans and Canadians to come in and, swim with the dolphins in these tanks. So basically you can hold on to their dorsal fins and swim with them. And look, I'm going to be honest, I really wanted to do that once upon a time. A lot of my friends have done it. And if I had money back when I was travelling those times, I probably would have done it. So no disrespect if you've done this personally. And if it's your life goal to do that, excellent, okay? But I'm just saying, I'd just rethink it, because, these animals didn't sign up to be, touched. I openly say when I see these pelicans on the beach and, I don't go close to them. I don't try to touch them. I don't go, hug them and try to get a selfie, because, that would be not good. So we're going to turn around, guys. So anyway, so SeaWorld is where I went whale watching, guys. They also still do, in Queensland here and at the Gold Coast, they still do, they do seal shows. They have seals. Seal shows seem to be a very popular thing. They have dolphin shows. You can go and have a dolphin experience at SeaWorld where you pay, quite a bit of money, and you can go swim with the dolphins. So that's still happening here, even in Australia, even with all the education that we've been told here in Australia about don't touch animals. Like, there's a resort over here on Moreton Island, where I told you that used to be the whaling station. They have wild dolphins that come in. Now, I don't know, I'll tell you how it works, and you tell me if this is good for the dolphins or bad for the dolphins, okay? And I will tell you that I have paid the money to feed the dolphins there, but I'm kind of a bit blur about it now, right? I'll just tell you how it works. So Tangalooma they have park rangers. So park rangers are paid from the government to work in, parks in Australia that are national parks. So over on that island is a national park. People do live over there, but it's mainly national park. So national park means it's, reserved to be used as a recreational and educational place. So national park people will be educated in, environmental studies and, about the land, about animals. And they have an agreement with that resort where they have dolphin feeding sessions. And what they do is they are trying to get research on the amount of dolphins and what kind of dolphins and their, where they travel to. Because if they keep on coming back, they know which ones are which. They obviously, dolphins probably all look the same to us, right? But to people that are actually trained and that work on that island, they can tell a dolphin when it comes in who it is. And, when they have babies, the babies come in, so they know the baby's growing and that's the baby of so-and-so. So anyway, they know all their names. There's these kind of regular ones that come in. But I asked the question, is it really a good idea to be actually feeding them? Because if you feed the dolphins every night, then they're not actually going to bother going out and getting their own food, right? And you're teaching the baby dolphins that you don't actually have to go get food yourself. You just go get food at the end of the day from those humans that feed us. So I don't know. I'm kind of in a bit of, is that good? Is it bad? Indifferent. You go there, you get a photo taken with them. It's like, to be honest, it's like, swim with the dolphins, right? You're not allowed to touch them. You got to stand there. They basically stand there, you say, here's the fish, hold it here, and then the dolphin comes up and gets it out of your mouth, out of your hands. And they will slide up against you, so you feel how slippery they are, kind of thing. But you are physically not allowed to touch them. If you touch them, they will hey, get out, stop. But still, again, we're feeding them, right? And that's, I kind of say, if you feed birds, then why would they go and get their own grubs and stuff from the ground? And then if that feeding stops, then what happens, right? So, for example, the whale sharks in the Philippines. I went to the Philippines about maybe 10 years ago on a solo adventure, and the whale sharks is the reason why I wanted to go there, was because you can swim with whale sharks there. But when I started doing the research, like a good little traveller I am, do some research, guys, I realised that they actually feed them. So it's not really that exciting when you go out on a boat, they're chucking chum and all this fish stuff. So the whales come straight over to the boat, right? They're acquisitive of the boat because they want the food. Then you can swim with them. I kind of made me think that's a bit cheap. It's a bit nasty, to be honest. I mean, you still get your hit, you get those selfies that you can put on Instagram, right? Or YouTube, whatever you want to do. But it kind of defeats the purpose that, you paid to go swimming with a whale shark and they feed them. They're not really wild, are they? They might be out there in the wild, but they're really not wild animals. They're basically trained to be fed. And there's a lot of these boats. There's a place, it starts with O. I can't remember the name. Obstis, I don't know. It starts with O. It's a very famous place in the Philippines. And that's where everyone goes to go swim with the whale sharks. And this is how, the articles I read was there's 5 or 6 boats that go out. You line up and then basically, you get on the boat and it's like a amusement ride. Everyone's lined up ready for their turn. And it just cheapened the experience. And I thought, I don't want that experience. But in the meantime, I researched going to the Philippines and went, Philippines is way more than just swimming with whale sharks. So I never went to that location, and I wasn't planning to swim with whale sharks. But I actually, on my second last day, I was scuba diving in a place called Puerto Princesa, which is on the island of Palawan, which is absolutely stunning. I was scuba diving and I was having a chat, as you do, and a couple said to me, oh yeah, we're booked on a boat to see the whale sharks tomorrow. I went, what, whale sharks here? They said, yeah, they're here too. And I said, oh, can you tell me a bit about the tour? And he goes, oh yeah, it only goes once a week. It's they only want to do it once a week because they don't want to scare the whale sharks. I went, oh, okay. And they said, I said, do they feed them? And said, well, no, apparently they don't feed them either. They said they want to make sure that the whales are not impacted, but they want to show, the tourists the whale sharks. So anyway, when I got back to the mainland, I went and checked out this whale place. I did a bit of Googling. I went and had a chat with them, looked at their, all their boards and all their, their things at their tour booth, their booth kind of thing. And it did say that they don't feed them. They're not like that other company. They only go once a week because they, they're ethically trying to do tourism in, the most ethical kind of way, which sounds great to me. And they said, and I said, oh, can I get on the one for tomorrow? And they said, yeah, no, they're booked well in advance. They said that, we could have a boat go out every day and we could make crap loads of money, but we don't want to because we want to actually look after these animals. They're these gentle giants of the ocean that we are exploiting in these other areas of Philippines. We don't want to be that location that everyone comes to this area just to go swimming with whale sharks. We want them to come diving and, do all the things that you did, well, I did there, and not just be attracted to the whale sharks. Because the Philippines is more than just whale sharks, right? And it's an amazing island. So anyway, I couldn't get on that boat. But yeah, let's just say I ended up doing that tour. I think the universe was on my side that day. I was like, this is how I am. I'm very persistent, right? I think probably say I'm proactive, right? I'm not reactive. So I said to them, okay, that sounds great what you guys do. I said, look, is there possible of a cancellation list? And she said, yeah, we don't have cancellation lists because no one cancels. I said, yeah, but someone might be sick, they might have a party tonight, and just don't feel good. And she said, okay, well, where are you staying? I said, okay, I'm staying here. I said, this is my room number, this is my name. I said, look, I will be ready anyway because I've got to leave that day. I'll be packed, ready to go on the boat with my money. How much is it? And I found out how much it was. I said, look, honestly, I said, look, if you have a cancellation, please come and get me or ring me. I'll be ready. Guess what? They had a cancellation. And I got to swim with the whale sharks. And how they do it is, just like the whale watching trip that I went on yesterday, is they have spotters on top of the boat looking for the whale sharks or the whales. They also have fishermen that they pay to tell them if they see the whale sharks, so they know what location to go to. So when we're going out on the boat from the Philippines, you could hear the guy on the two-way talking in Filipino tongue that, yeah, there's, something, and they all kept on pointing, and yeah, they were looking on top of the boat. I mean, look, if they were faking it, they were doing a really good job of faking it, right? But the only downside is, and it was pure accident, what they were doing was half the boat, and it's not a big tour, there's probably about 30 of us. So 15 of us were on each side of the catamaran kind of thing. And we would take turns in jumping in the water when they saw a whale shark. They didn't realise that they were literally on top of a whale shark. They saw one whale shark in the future, like in the distance, like they were jumping, like chucking us in so that we would swim near them. But there was one actually under us and under me. So when we jumped in the water, I literally jumped on top of a whale shark. And that absolutely broke my heart because obviously I would never want to jump on an animal. So I literally jumped on the back fin. I felt the sliminess of the the whale shark, but more than anything, I saw the big body of it and I was just shit myself. Because, you know, these are sharks, right? I mean, I know I wasn't in danger. They don't have teeth like whales, sharks. But you know, I didn't want to also hurt an animal. Like, you know, you shouldn't touch an animal, right? Like our skins are different kind of. We humans have different skins that could actually hurt, you know, a whale. So anyway, I have GoPro footage of literally, all you see is the spottiness of the whale shark, and yeah, me like screaming, literally, ah, and literally, yeah, jumping off the top of it. Not jumping on it, but like, you know, literally free falling on top of this thing, and yeah, and then it slithered away. But I shit myself, no joke. I would never intentionally want to jump on an animal, and that was not my intention, but obviously that was just an accident that happened. There was, you know, they didn't realise there was one underneath the boat, and it just happened to be me that was the one that jumped on it. But yeah, I do have that GoPro footage. I don't really like to watch it because it makes me really sad that I accidentally jumped on a whale shark. So guys, actually that lady is actually doing the walk. Okay, so you know how I told you that I saw a lady with a shirt on? She's actually just sitting up here, so I don't want to say anything. Plus she's about to have a cigarette, so we don't like cigarettes. Okay, so guys, we have done our 45 minutes. Thank you for joining me. Here we go. Okay, so Susan's got here. Thank goodness, Deborah. Warwick, I'm glad you're repaired. Oh, is Jeb back here? Hello, restaurant. Oh my God, reluctant something. Carol, I'm Susan from Australia. Nice to meet you. Oh, hello. Oh, yeah, beautiful beach. Yeah, it's a gorgeous beach. It's Redcliffe Beach in southeast Queensland in Australia. Okay, now I can get up here. She's moved on. So guys, thanks for being part of my 45-minute movement this morning for part of 75 Hard. We have done our first exercise of the day. Tick. And what we're going to do now is doing a bit of stretching. Oh, shivers. Whoop. Oops, sorry. Me and testing buttons. Now, hey, you know how yesterday I was doing all those star jumps? That was really good for me, hey? Like the actual, you know, like walking obviously was my body's really, you know, I don't say this to be stuck up, but, you know, my body, you guys know that I walk every morning, right? Most mornings. And my body's quite used to walking, so it's not a challenge, right? So to do 45 minutes is way easy. So to make it harder and get my intensity up, because that's when actually you start burning, right? Because, you know, I'm outing myself, like, you know, the reason why I was doing this was because I was drinking a lot of Pepsi. If Mum's listened to this, yes, Mum, I know I shouldn't drink Pepsi. I didn't grow up drinking Pepsi. Or, you know, my parents never let us have sodas when we were younger. And my dad would be horrified that I was drinking so much soda water, Pepsi. But, like, so guys, I don't know if you noticed, but like, I have actually lost some weight. That's a bit a lot. But yeah, like, it's not all about losing weight, obviously. 75 Hard is hard. It's a lot about, you know, detoxing the body. Hey, Carol, how you going? It's about detoxing the body. So my friend Carol is very interested. She's 74 years old and she's interested in her health. She's doing, you know, drinking lots of water. She's doing movement. She's doing her own version of 75 Hard. So welcome Carol in. She's got a great channel. She does a lot of growing plants. She grows tomatoes and herbs. So I think, you know, her ethos is amazing. And she, you know, she thinks movement's really good for her too. And she's 74 years old. So it's amazing. So, you know, we'll learn from people above us about how, you know, they live. A lot of people, you know, like, as I said, yeah, we should be grateful that we're alive. I've lost friends under 50, right? the different elements. So it's not about weight, it's also about internal health, also mental, like we just talk about, today is World Suicide Prevention Day. I openly talk about losing my friend Esther, and exercise is also, really good for our health, right? Getting out in, nature. Yes, I live by a beach. I'm very, very lucky. Thank you, Mum and Dad. Thank you, Mum. You're listening, I know. It was my dad, though, but my mum's probably the real boss, right? My dad, we lived in Kilcoy, which is a country town, for the first 7 years of my life. And my dad lost he was a teacher, and he lost his posting he was working in an environmental school, and that his, tender finished, and he had to go back to normal teaching, which he didn't want to do. Like, teaching in a classroom for him was like hell. But he did that because, he had 2 young children and a wife he had to look after, right? So mentally that probably stuffed him up. But he decided that he would semi-retire. He moved to Redcliffe, which is this area we live here, because that's where we go on holidays when we were younger. We used to come here to the beach on school holidays and have holidays here. So young Dora had some amazing holidays here. And then when my dad semi-retired, he thought, you know what, let's bring the family to the beach. So here we are. I haven't read the book, Susan. Sorry, I haven't read the book, Carol. And my friend, you guys have met Laurie from Aging Rebel. She is writing a book about 75 Hard, but I've not read the book. But I didn't know there was a book. I will go actually, where am I today? Wednesday. No, tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm actually going to be in an area where there's a library, so I will ask them if they've got a 75 Hard book, actually. Because guess what, Carol? I've nearly finished my first book in years. And that's embarrassing to say, right? Because, reading should be part of our ethos, right? That's where we get our original knowledge from, not just, the Google or YouTube or someone's mouth, right? Or the news, just saying. So, yeah, what am I saying? Yeah, so part of 75 Hard is you need to read 10 pages of a self-help or business book. So I'm reading this amazing book about retraining your brain, and how if you don't look after your brain, it can cause illness. So this talks about mental health, right? That, if we don't look after this, we can, damage it. So, yeah, it's important, right? It's very precious. Yeah, so anyway, today is World Prevention Day. What did you read? I have to tell you, I don't actually know the name of it. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head. It is a religious book. I'm not opposed to religious books. My favourite book I've ever read in my life is called The Power of Positive Thinking by Norman Vincent Peale. I believe he's a Canadian guy. Was he American? I don't know. But he's a doctor. He's also a minister. And he wrote this book about positive thinking and how in scripture, there's sayings that, are talked about, like, if you think you can, you can. All things are possible with God's help. There's all these little affirmations that you can say. And I read it through I read it when it was actually the year 2000, the millennium, right? I was living in Mexico. I had I went through a bit of a sad period of my life there, and I was house sitting at a friend's house, and she was reading the book The Power of Positive Thinking. So I picked it up and read it, and I absolutely loved it. I photocopied every page of it. This is what we did back in the day. We photocopied every page, and then I took it home and read it, and then I was able to buy the book here in Australia. I've given the copy to my friends a few times. I've got a couple of copies myself. And from time to time I read it, and it's one of the best books I've ever read. So Carol, you've read it. It's a very powerful book, The Power of Positive Thinking by Norman Vincent Peale. Norman Vincent Peale was back in the day really, really old. He died 20 years ago, probably even 30 years ago, and he lived to about 80. And I think he was a minister, but the actual, you don't have to be religious to read this book. As I said, I'm not overly religious, but the book is so powerful, and it makes you think a completely different way. And it totally changed my ethos about, life and things that happen to us. And you know, it's a lot. You know, things can happen to us, but do you let how it affects you is on you, right? Like, for example, I talk about my knee, that, you know, I have, you know, a diagnosis that's not great on my knee. But if I think about it too much, I could just go, you know what, let's just not do any exercise and I won't have any problems with my knee, right? But then where am I going to be mentally? But I turned it around and went, you know what, just make it a small problem. And now, as I said, it's not a big problem anymore. So, and I know given that things can happen to our lives that completely are not that easy to bring down to this small little package, right? But the brain is so powerful that you can do these things. You can think yourself out of a bad day. You can wake up thinking, this day absolutely sucks. I have to do this presentation for work. I hate that. I hate work. I hate all the people I have to present to. I'm going to do shit. I didn't prepare. I'm such an idiot. Oh, God, what am I going to do? It's going to be shit. And you can keep on thinking like that. And guess what? It's going to be shit, right? Or you can turn around and go, you know what? I'm not prepared. I probably don't have the skills for this, but I'm going to give it my best crack. You know, I don't care what people think. I don't care the people I work with. I just don't care. I'm just going to do it, and I don't care. Let's just do it. And just snap yourself out of it. And then just do it. And guess what? I bet you any money, it won't be such a drama. Yep, Norman Vincent Peale. So Susan, I'll send you a photo of it. I've got it at home. Honestly, I should have sent you that book and you could have sent it back to me. But anyway, that's all right. It's an amazing book. Get it from your library. They will have a copy. You can ring up a library and they can get it in for you. So yeah, don't have to buy it, guys. You can order it from your library and get it ordered in. You can listen to it on audio too. So Carol, yeah, that's great. So Susan, you can actually Google him. He's got a YouTube page. Actually, he maybe doesn't have a YouTube page, but there's many pages talking about Norman Vincent Peale. It's in black and white too, because it's really old. Okay, I'm going to start moving. Yeah, so it's a really, like I said, I read it in the year 2000, which is a long time ago, right? I was 25 years old, and it impacted my life so much that I still talk about it, and that was 25 years ago. So take it from me. I'm hugging my thongs. Take it from me, and if that means anything to you. Yeah, really good book. So, hey, oh my God. Hey, Stacey, how you going? So guys, Stacey is Create and Relate. She's from the UK. I was actually just on a live last night with my friend Mel from New Zealand, relaxing with Mel. She's sometimes in here. She does diamond art, and she has a channel that, you know, she's nearly actually monetized actually. And yeah, she's a good friend of mine. She actually started the challenge with me actually. But unfortunately, like with 7 years, if you stuff up one day, you have to go back one. So it's really hard. It really does impact your life. And there was things going on in Mel's life that she just couldn't do. So anyway, she's not going through the challenge at the moment. But that is my friend Stacey. I have that effect laugh. So yeah, guys, welcome Stacey. Create and Relate. If you don't know her, she's from Stacey from the UK. So I'll introduce you. Stacey, High Country Homestead, who's just saying hello to you, is my friend Susan. So Susan is from Australia. She's from Victoria. She's in the Alpine regions of Victoria. She has a homesteading channel. She's an amazing friend of my of the channel. I'm friends with her personally. Yeah, so I talk to my mum about you, Susan. So my mum will say hello, Susan, when she's watching this. And that's my friend Susan from High Country Homestead. And we've got Broke but Bountiful Blessed, which is my friend Carol. She is from Iowa. I know she's from the States. She's 74 years old, and she's actually doing a part of this 75 hard too, but her version. She's been drinking lots of water. She's doing lots of exercise. She grows her own food, as in she grows her own tomatoes. So if you go to her page, she does lives and she does shorts and she does videos showing you her beautiful tomatoes and her herbs, and that she grows them on her balcony. So anyone can do this, guys. Anyone can grow vegetables, right? and she's 74, and she's, she's she's inspiring that she's actually doing all this movement, and she's 74. Sorry, 74. Who else have we got in the chat? So there was a reluctant vegetarian, Carol. I don't know who you are, but hello. Thanks for jumping in. Mike Sparks, of course, my friend Mike. Mike Adventure Sparks. He's from Minnesota, and he's my mate. He loves adventures. That's how I've made friends with him, because I saw his name, Mike Adventure Sparks, and that sparked something in me that said, oh, I should go check out his channel, like a good, YouTuber. So I went and checked out his channel, and I saw that he does adventures near lakes. He likes fishing. He does his e-bike. He likes e-bikes. He likes hiking, which I love hiking. And he's a general nice guy, right? So I gave him a couple of comments, and he commented on the channel. He watched a whole lot of my videos, right, Mike? And yeah, we became friends. And he's also on Instagram. I'm on Instagram. Today is Wednesday, which is traditionally Dancing with Dora Wednesday. So tonight there will be a short me doing some weird dance, and I have a few options. Let me tell you the options. There's an option from yesterday. It's not whale dancing, just saying, but I have done a whale dance before. It is, so what Dancing with Dora is basically a day that I just do a funny dance, because I think dancing is so fun. It makes me laugh. It makes people laugh at me, and I'm okay with that. So traditionally on Instagram for the last 3 years, maybe even 4 years, I don't know, a long time. I am not a good dancer. I don't care that I'm not a good dancer. I make fun of myself. People make fun of me. I don't care. I do dance off. So my friends on Instagram will send me videos of them dancing, and I'll edit them together. On YouTube, my friend Vicky from Aging, oh my God, what's her channel name? I can't remember off the top of my head. She sent me a video of her dancing in a toilet. So I do happen to do dances in toilets. It's very weird and very random. Did a dance last week from a toilet. I should have that one. So I've got these options for tonight. I have a dance in a toilet. I have a dance yesterday in front of a little lighthouse, which is really cool. I have a dance in front of the full moon from 2 days ago. I have, yeah, these are the options. Full moon, lighthouse, toilet. Okay, I was trying to introduce everyone's channel. I forgot about that. That's Mike Adventure Sparks. If you check him out, saying Sue. I don't know. A few of you in the chat. Okay, there's 8 people. So hi, thank you. But Stacey, yeah, make friends with some guys on the chat. Always say openly, don't do sub for sub, guys. It's a waste of time. I would rather people not sub me and just, get to know me. If they think I'm, their cup of tea, perfect. If you're not, see ya. And that's okay, because I'm not going to be everyone's cup of tea, right? And I'll go to channels and I'll go, not my kind of thing. I openly talk about how a friend made friends with Ange, who is Nana Ange Nails It. She's a nail channel. I don't do my nails. I don't believe in doing nails. I think that those nails, that stuff that you walk past the nail shops and it stinks, right? That's going in your skin. Like, your nails is your skin. That goes right into your system, that toxic stuff. And I think that's going to do damage, right? So I made a conscious decision not to do my nails anymore. I used to put shellac on them, which is basically some kind of hard texture things. And they actually openly say to you that you should not do that full time. You should let your nails grow naturally, because otherwise they go soft. So that's telling you it's really bad stuff. And then a lot of women put acrylic nails on. And again, look, you guys do you. Personally, I don't do that. But like I said, I'm not attracted to a nail channel. But I made friends with Ange, and she is, yes, a nail channel, but she does a lot of fun stuff. Like on her, I like colours, right? I like art. So I went to her live one day, and there was like 30 people, and there was high energy. It was fun. She's like introducing everyone, having a chat, talking about colours. What's your favourite colour? And I said, oh, that's a really nice colour. I said, oh, it's like the ocean. She goes, oh, Dora, hey, Dora, it's aqua. Let's call it ocean teal. And then she painted some fake nail, and oh, it was nice. Yeah, so I subscribed to her. Okay. As I said, I didn't just sub her because she subbed me. Because again, it's a waste of time, right? She's not going to watch my stuff and I'm not going to watch her stuff. But we've made a connection, and I've watched some of her videos, I've watched some of her shorts, I've even write comments. So it's not a waste. Like, I'm giving her watch hours. She's been watching my lives, which gives me watch hours. She's watched a couple of my videos and put comments. So it's a genuine connection, right? We're not faking it. So again, find something relatable, guys. If you're not related to, to someone's channel, don't fake it. Find or find something that you are related on. Friendship, I don't know. Because if you notice, there's a lot of channels out there that have got like 1,800 subscribers or 2,000 subscribers, but then they post a video and they get 30 views. That will tell you the skew's not right. So those viewers are just sub for subs. The people that don't even care about you, don't even know about you, they just subbed you because you subbed them. So a lot of people will go onto your channel and go, sub number 320 and waiting. So what they're doing is they're saying, I just subbed you. I didn't watch your video, but I subbed you. I'm waiting for you to come over and sub me. Is that not a waste of time? Just going to be saying. So I even write comments going, waiting for what? I don't even bother. I don't care. Because if they didn't take the time to have a look at my video, that I spent all this time and love making this video, and they just said, subbed and waiting, why would I go and sub them? They're never going to come back and watch my videos. They don't even know who I am. So don't waste your time. So anyway, guys, I watch my lives from my other channels. Do you have a couple of channels, Carol? Yeah, look, some people do really fun lives, and I hope, guys, that you get that out of my lives. And I have got some feedback that you do enjoy my lives, and that's why I keep on doing them, I guess. But I'm going to use that platform for serious topics like suicide prevention, mental health. I believe that it's giving back. People that just want to just sit there and do lives and talk about nothingness, great for them. But I'd get bored with that, guys, personally. I could talk shit all day. I'm going to be honest, I could. I'm in sales. Or was in sales, should I say. But yeah, generally, I just want to have a chat and talk about topics that actually move me and create a relationship and care. And yeah, so anyway, that's me. And yeah, it's nice to have meaningful relationships, right? And take it off the platform, right? Like, so create and relate, Stacey. I think you and Stacey and Mel from Mel Relaxing with Mel are good friends. They do diamond art. So I went over to Stacey's channel last night to see what she's been posting about, because they were talking about a live that they did together. I was like, oh, they did a live together. What do they do? So I went over, and Stacey, I probably didn't comment because I was just like literally doing a flyby before I went to bed. And I saw that Stacey and Mel did a live together doing diamond art, and it went for like 2 hours. So like they were just having a chat. This is the new age, guys. So they actually have forged a nice relationship. Like I said, Mel and I are friends. We WhatsApp each other. So Susan from High Country Home, I even know where Susan lives. Well, actually, I don't know where Susan lives. But I sent her a package. So if my mum listening to this, my mum would say, oh, that's great that you sent I sent one of my books for my dad's books. So my dad wrote a book called The Dictionary of Botanical Names, which is the first book of its kind in Australia. I sell this as a kind of a hobby at the moment. Not a hobby, but I don't make money out of it, so to speak. But it's just, making my dad's work and research continue on. So I still sell this to bookshops. We sell it on Facebook. I'm not selling it here, guys. But yeah, I sent a copy to Susan because she's into native plants. She's got 360 acres and she knows a lot about plant identification of our native plants in Australia. And I just thought that'd be really helpful for her. My dad was all about sharing knowledge, and he would love the fact that I just gave a book to Susan. And my mum will be listening, just going, oh, that's a great idea, Moriara. Thank you for, doing that. So yeah, so it's nice to make relationships off channel. I openly talk about Jazz, my friend Jazz Nomad being my soul sister. She's doing 75 balance. So Carol, do you know my friend Jazz Nomad TV? She's doing her own version, which is called 75 balance. So hers is, again, guys, everyone's at different kind of, places in their health and fitness and life, right? And look, I'd never talk bad about Jazz, but that's not my my plan. And Jazz could even be listening to this, but Jazz has put on a bit of weight, and she openly talks about that she's just been into Europe for a holiday, and she struggled. Like, she loves travel. She's my soul sister. She's a backpacker like me, solo backpacker like me. She has so many things that we're so similar. Like, I think we're the same. But she was walking with my friend Marie from Meditation Motivation with Marie, who lives just outside of Barcelona. They caught up for the first time face to face. She stayed at her house. They went sightseeing, and Jazz had to say, "Hey, Marie, can you stop? I can't walk that fast." And she had to stop, get her breath, keep walking. Then she met up with another friend in Barcelona and had to do the same thing. She said, "Hey, I've got to stop. I've got to break. I can't keep up with you. The pace. It's hot in Europe. It's through the day. I'm dying. My fitness is shit." So basically, she's like, she came home and she saw that I was doing the 75 hard, and she's like, "I can't do that, but I can do my own version." So she's doing her own version, which is she must drink 1 liter a day. She's reading a book. She's doing 2 exercises a day. It's not 45 minutes. She's trying to do at least 10. She's now getting to 15, 20, 30 minutes a day in one session. So she's feeling really good. She must be up to day 7. So we're talking to each other on WhatsApp, motivating each other, inspiring each other. She bought a rebounder. So she's about to do some rebounding. So I openly talk about how I bought a rebounder, and they're amazing, great movement, especially when you are, you don't have that, ability to walk lots, because bouncing is you actually use the momentum of the trampoline to bounce. So even if someone that can't bounce, you can sit on it, and it gives you the same kind of movement on your body. So yeah, but again, always seek advice. So for example, I'll give you an idea. My mum will be listening to this, right? She watches the replays. So Mum, you'll remember this one. So my mum was watching me. I did squats. So this is a really good example, right? So Lifeline that I talk about, that I'm doing today, a 9K walk for Lifeline to represent the 9 people a day that take their life, which is 63 people a week in Australia. So that's why I'm walking 9 kilometres this afternoon. I won't be doing a live. I'm walking with my friend's husband, who passed away because of suicide. And it's through Lifeline, and I'm going to try to raise money. I've donated some money myself, and I'm raising money for it, not on here, on my personal pages on Facebook. And so they had a challenge where you did 63 squats a day to represent the 63 people a week that pass away. So 63 squats is hard, guys, and I got my body up to doing 63 squats a day, and I keep on doing it. So I haven't done it for a while, but I'm going to start doing it again, because squatting is really good for you, especially if you go to Asia. In Asia, you got to squat over a toilet. I am absolutely hopeless at squatting. I don't know why. My body can't do it, but it makes sense now because my knee is not good. That's why I can't squat. So anyway, I've been squatting. My mum saw me squatting and went, "Oh, I should do some squatting. That looks like fun." She did squatting in the toilet. Sorry, not toilet. She was in the shower. She had a hot shower, so her body's warm, and she was squatting in the toilet. Not toilet, bath. Squatting in the bathtub, and she hurt her knee. Now, my mum would have been 73 years old. So if you're listening to this, mum, this is a silly thing to do. She knows she's silly. She had to go to the doctor. She had a sore knee for about 6 or 7 months because she did that silly thing of thinking she saw her daughter that's probably 30 years younger than her doing 63 squats and thought, "Oh, I'll do that in the bathtub. I'll have my body warm," which is a good idea, right? To have your body warm. But when you haven't done squats for a million years and you suddenly do an exercise that's pretty impacting on your body, it hurts. And she hurt her knee. So she's not doing squats anymore, guys. So like I said, if you take anything from that, or that example of my mum, is just because I'm doing something, you don't have to do it, right? Do your own version. So Jazz said, "I can't do that 75 hard. That's hard, right? I will do my own version." So do your own version. She went and got she got some bloods done to make sure that, she's all healthy and all that kind of stuff. So she did her own due diligence, because end of the day, your body's your own temple. I don't know anything. I'm not a doctor. I'm just doing what I do, right? And what I do might not be good for you. Like what I did squatting was not good for my mother. So if you want to take an example, excellent, even though it's low impact, still seek advice. Like my friend Deb, she bought a rebounder and I was very, very like, hey, Deb, please go to your doctor. Deb has openly shared that she has quite a lot of illnesses. We all know that, you know, her daughter's just come on to the live saying that her daughter is actually not, sorry, her mother isn't well. She's in hospital. She's going to get a surgery, which I'm so, so grateful for, that finally they found what was wrong with my friend Deb. So she's going to get some treatment, but she was using the rebounder and she said that she went to the doctor. I don't know if she did. So I'm not saying that using the rebounder got her they ended up in hospital, but I said I'm always having to make a disclaimer that when I do these things, I'm drinking 3.7 litres of water, a gallon of water. Just because I am doesn't mean you can. Like my friend Kathleen said, I can't do that. I can't drink that much water. And that's fair. That's fair. Because not everyone can. Water can kill you, right? That's why I'm having some pink water here. I've got electrolytes in there. I'll just shake that up. So because I'm drinking so much water, you're depleting, you're weeing out all the minerals, the natural minerals of your body, right? So that's why you shouldn't drink so much water. But it's a catch-22 because you need water in your body. So what you should have is sea salt. Pinch of sea salt is really good for your body. Pinch of sea salt in the mouth and then you have some water. Puts the actual natural minerals back in your body. That's a natural way of doing it. This is another way, getting electrolytes. Again, you got to buy them. But because I'm doing so much water, which is more than I normally take, it's good for me. Like I talked openly about, I was training for a 30K walk and I did way too much walking one day. Way too much walking. And it was an accumulation of a couple of days. A lot of water intake, a lot of sweating, and I wasn't taking electrolytes. I actually started getting some panic attacks and anxiety that I normally don't have. And I had to think to myself, why is this, what's happening? And I realized I hadn't been putting like nutrients back into my body, like electrolytes. So I've been having, ordinarily before I started this challenge, I started doing one a day. So again, electrolytes is just really good to put that natural minerals back in your body that again are depleted when you're doing lots of walking or exercise, drinking lots. And I find it's really good for my skin. Guys, I've been obviously drinking a gallon of water a day for the last 16 days. So that's 3.7 litres, that's a lot. And what you'll find is that your skin will actually be a lot better. I openly talk about how my face is not so bloated anymore. And that's probably because I'm also looking out for what am I eating. I'm not eating like sugar. I'm not drinking Pepsi anymore. So the last time Carol saw me, she said that she had seen the difference in my face. I posted a video, my last video that's on my page. I took my mum on an adventure. We went to an Indonesian restaurant. You can see my face. If you watch that video, you can see I'm physically rounder. So I traditionally carry all my weight in my face, my cheeks. My mum is my fault. I have these chubby cheeks. Thank you, Mum. I actually like having them, to be honest. I like it. I like the attention. When I was younger, people would go, yeah, she's got little chubby cheeks. And they'd go, squishy, squishy. Yeah, that's what they used to do to me. And I still get, in Indonesia when I go there, they're like pinching my cheeks. So, yeah. So traditionally, I carry my weight. And I can see it's actually starting to get that double chin. Lovely angle. See, it's all about angles, guys. You know, when people take selfies, they're like, oh, it looks shocking in selfies. Hold the camera up, guys. Watch this. Not very nice, hey? Hold it up, I look beautiful. Like this, I look... Yeah, so anyway, just, there you go. So you don't learn anything from me. How to take a selfie. Hold the camera up. Makes you look thinner, just saying. Hold the camera down. Not so attractive. So yeah, if you want to take a selfie of yourself, so Susan, High Country Homestead, you know, that dating the dating website that you're going to go on one day, hold it like this, up like this, and you do the fish lips. I'm joking, no, but hold it up like this, not like this, or just be normal. All right, guys. You're beautiful anyway, honey. I know I'm beautiful. Thank you very much. Paul. Hey, Paul. So I told you guys, Paul does come. He's always lurking in the background. He's about 7:30. He'll turn the camera on, so the computer on, and he'll listen to Dora while he's having breakfast. He's having, I reckon this morning he had oats. I reckon he had oats and a coffee. So Paul, I'm just about to finish. Deb is really unwell, mate. She's in hospital. Her daughter sent me a message through her page, but then she's also jumped into the chat. So I can't remember her daughter's name, but her daughter shared with us that they have found out what's wrong with Deb, that she's going to have some surgery, which is really good, because the message I got yesterday, which I shared with you initially, was that Deb is not good. The message was basically, can you tell your friends to pray for Deb, because it's really not good. And the fact that her daughter had her phone made me really worried for her, that she's really in not a good place. But then her daughter's obviously in the hospital with her. She can't have her phone because maybe she's not good. But yeah, they found out that she's having some surgery. That would explain her heart. You know, her heart rhythm was really not good. Her blood pressure was really bad, through the roof. That's why when she said she bought a rebounder, I really was like, shit. You know, like that really scared me, because that's, you know, increasing her heart rate, right? And then one day she told us that her oxygen, so she's even on an oxygen machine to breathe. So she's not in a really good place health-wise. And so, yeah, Paul, she's always asking about Paul. So Paul, that's why I was hoping that I'd find you. So I'm really glad that we were able to tell you. So Paul, if you could please, you know, send some happy vibes her way. I know that Deb does reply, like comment on your videos. So if you can mind commenting on her, you know, reply to some of her videos, her daughter will see them and probably read them out to her. So, you know, in these kind of times when someone's, you know, unwell, you know, they just need that kind of reassurance that people are thinking about them, even though we don't know Deb, right? As in, we don't know her physically. I don't know what she looks like. I know she's from Spring, Texas, and that she's from Colorado, right? But yeah, right now she's in hospital. She's about to have a surgery, and we're thinking of you, Deb. And yeah, everyone spends their love. She, you know, has a special place for Paul. She's always asking me, where's Paul? How's Paul? Where's Paul? Hi, Paul. So that's nice, Paul. So, you know, it's nice to feel that you're wanted, right, Paul? And we appreciate Paul. So guys, everyone knows Paul D Australia. If you don't, Paul D Australia, he's from Victoria, down the road from my friend Susan, High Country Homestead. And yeah, Paul has a great channel. Today's Wednesday, so he's going to be doing a short, and then on Saturdays he does a long form video. He's very dedicated to his craft on YouTube. He has things scheduled. Everyone should be more like him. I wish I was more like him. And I just post when I want and randomly. But Paul is very organised. He does lots of walks around where he lives on Phillip Island. His last video from Saturday was all his pelicans. So I'm sure Deb loved it, because she loves watching the pelicans. So if you don't know Paul D Australia, you should know him. Paul D Australia is his handle name. Check him out. See if he, you know, if his content relates to you. If he does, give him some likes and some comments, and yeah, sub him. But don't sub him because you feel sorry for him, because he doesn't want that either. He wants someone that actually wants to, you know, communicate with him and have a chat, because he'll have a chat back. So anyway, guys, I'm going to go, but, you know, appreciate you guys talking to me today. I'm going to leave you with the last, you know, little thing that, you know, today is World Prevention Day for Suicide, the 10th of September. I believe it's worldwide, but don't count, you know, it might just be in Australia. But at the end of the day, in Australia, 63 people commit suicide a week, and that works out to be 9 a day. So today I'm walking 9 kilometres for the memory of my friend Esther, who is not here today because of that reason. I asked her husband every year if he would walk with me, and he says not this year, but keep on asking me. This year he said yes, so we are walking today. We're going to do 9 kilometres together. He might not do the whole 9 kilometres with me, and I won't be doing a live, but if he doesn't do the whole lot with me, I will come on and probably do a live, just to, again, talk about mental health and suicide. Okay, it's not a topic that is, you know, high on everyone's agenda, and I get that, but you know what, I'm going to talk about it because it affects me emotionally, personally, and affects probably everyone, because everyone's probably lost someone personal and close to them for the same reason. So I can ask you to do some movement today. Paul, Paul does do movement anyway. He does 2 walks a day. So Paul, if you could, maybe do a 9K walk today in memory of someone that you have lost, or in the hope that this chat might help someone else in the future. Okay, so if you have a friend that's you're worried about, please give them a call today. Today is a day of remembering people that we've lost, but also remembering that tomorrow is not guaranteed, right? Yeah, and you should call a friend if they need. Let them know that you love them, right? Even if you're not even worried about them, just let them know, because sometimes people fake it, right? People can look, like this persona that there's nothing, they're completely fine, there's nothing wrong with them, but deep down they're fighting their own demons, right? And that they for example, Robin Williams, everyone thought, my God, that's a funny guy, right? He's so funny. Deep down inside, he was, he had some major mental illness happening in the background that he chose to do what he did, and he's not here today. We have this amazing, he was amazing actor, right? He had some Miss Doubtfire, the Poet Society, all these movies that were amazing talent, and so funny. No one knew that he was personally, fighting demons. So that's what I'm trying to say, guys, is you don't just need to reach out to people that you think are, oh my God, that person's reaching out on Facebook. They're broken up with their boyfriend or girlfriend and they're really in a bad way. Or that someone's just lost their job and you reach out to them. There can be people that are professionally so fine, like, Robin Williams, and deep down inside, they're hurting. But, just a phone call from that friend to say, hey, how you going, Robin? Hey, blah, blah. I'm just making that up, guys. But, you don't have to talk about them and say, hey, how are you mentally? You're not going to do anything stupid, are you? No, you're not going to say that, right? But you can just say, hey, thinking of you today. How are you? That's it. It can be a text message. It can be a voice message. You can write them a letter, send them a postcard. Go to one of their videos and put a comment. Hey, it was really nice to see your video today. You made me smile. That's it. That's all you need to do. That one message could just help someone. So if I can leave you with that, do that. Okay, guys. I know it's been a long one today. Paul, you're saying some more things. Yep, so, yeah, we're talking about Deb. Yeah, so my friend Deb that we're talking about, guys, she's not a content creator. So please you don't need to go sub her or anything like that. Please send just your well wishes to her. Oh, well, Paula has actually put her channel name there. Yeah, you can't comment on her page. She's a private channel. But Carol, just so you know, my friend Deb does watch the replays. So Deb, my friend who is broke but bountiful, blessed, Carol, and I'm sure, Deb, you've actually probably seen her in the chat before. She doesn't even know you, Deb, but she wants to send her love and all her heart and her prayers for you. So she did just go to your page to try to subscribe or send you some love by comment, but obviously she can't do that because you don't make content. So just so that you know, Deb, a total stranger from Iowa is just sending you some love. Obviously, Paul is always sending you love. You know that. Paul's got here, I've lost loved ones in my life who never knew how much I love them. Now I live with that regret that my true feelings for them never were revealed. Now it's so true, guys. My mum always says to me at the end of every message, I love you. And I sometimes kind of, take that for like granted, like, oh, she's just, that's just her natural reflex. But I think, that's her way of, telling me she loves me, right? But don't take it for granted, because one day that phone call won't come, right? And, Paul and I have had this chat. We've had this many chats, right? Even with our friend Craig, right? And it's just been us three having a chat about mental health, and that that exact thing what Paul just said, that, he regrets that, he didn't tell people really close to him that he loved them. And don't let that be a regret anymore. Like, from now, tomorrow's not guaranteed. Reach out to a friend, okay? I do have to go, guys. Oh, that song by Ronan Keating, If Tomorrow Never Comes. Very powerful, Paul. Yep, very powerful. So, guys, like I said, it is World Prevention Day today. World Suicide Prevention Day, Wednesday, the 10th of September. So you guys in the future, or in the past, behind, yeah, in the Northern Hemisphere, it's still the 9th of September. But just think about tomorrow being the 10th of September, what you can do, who you can reach out to, who you can remember. But, today's for living. Today's, let's think about today and all the people that are in our lives now and how important they are. And like I said, it doesn't have to be because they're suffering. Reach out to someone that, you love and you care and you couldn't, live without. Let them know that. So anyway, guys, I've got to go. Thank you very much for being in my life. Thank you very much for listening and, taking some time to, to listen to my live. It has been a bit of a disordered one today. I started on, the live crying, literally crying on the beach, and I'm about to cry again because, yeah, it's personal. Yeah. So anyway, I gotta go. I'm fine, guys. I am fine. But it's okay to cry, right? And I miss my friend. She should be here today. She should be here to celebrate her daughter, who is going through all these milestones, and her children. It shouldn't happen. And, if we can reach out, if we can do more things, if the system wasn't as broken as it is, these people would maybe still be here today. So anyway, that's why awareness, talking about mental health, me crying on a live to strangers who are now my friends, is not a waste of time. It is important. And it's really important. And like Paul said, there are people in his life that he's lost because they didn't know he loved them. So reach out to someone today and tell them that you love them or like them, or, that you wouldn't, they're friends. Anyway, guys, I gotta go. Bye.